love Jenny Slate, and she joins us now. Jenny, congratulations. Great to see you.
Yeah, thank you very much for being back with us, Jenny. So tell us.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, we're thrilled to talk to you. Tell us a little bit more about your special.
Well, it's called Seasoned Professional, and I like to think of it as kind of a love story in reverse, meaning it doesn't start with when I met my husband. It actually sort of starts with us going to the hospital for me to give birth, and then reverses all the way back to not just, like the start of our relationship, but also to how I needed to grow as a person in order to be able to have the life that I want to have, I guess.
Well, I'll tell you, toward the beginning, as you pointed out, you're talking about going to the hospital, and I think you said one of the things that is universal to every woman who's about to have her first child. You mean you're going to have to do this by yourself, that no one's going to rescue you. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, what I find about talking about my comedy is that it comes off as really serious when I speak about it, but I promise the special is legitimately funny, I believe. But yeah, there's a feeling, I certainly had it, and I think many people can have it, that when you're about to go into the actual birth and you're like, oh, it's truly me alone. Like, it's just, I mean, there are hopefully doctors and all the people that you want to have if you want them, but it really is about me. And
that's right.
There's not going to be another person, who can do this. It's going to be me. And that is a startling, singular experience.
Yeah. Jenny Slate, Margery and I have been on the air 25 years, and I asked her before if I've ever asked the following question of a guest, and Margery confirmed I have not. So this will be the first time. Can we talk about your breasts for a few minutes? Is that okay with you?
Hey, if that's what you want to do, that's what we got to do, I guess. I feel so bad for my parents and in-laws who are probably listening, but more bad for you, Jim. More bad for you.
By the way, we're not going to give it away. There is a bit, speaking of pregnancy, that Jenny does in this thing about her breasts and herself and looking at herself in the mirror that is about as funny as ever. I don't know if this is going to offend you or not. I watched your thing twice last night. I watch it in regular speed, and because then I was afraid I missed a couple of things, I watched it in 1.5, and it was just as funny in 1.5 as in 1. Do you take that as a compliment, or how do you react to that?
I mean, all I hear is just as funny, so
so you're okay.
Exactly.
Good.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I like. Well, the pacing that I have is the pacing that I'm able to have. It's, and that actually is a win in itself. Like, it's so hard I think that one of the hardest things is when people say, just be yourself. And actually, I think I said that in my first comedy special, which was called Stage Fright. Mm-hmm. It's hard enough to answer that question and to embody that. Like, what is myself? So one thing I love about this special is when I watch it, for kind of one of the first times in my career, feel that I'm like, there I am. That's how I like to look. That's what I want to wear. That's where I want to be, in this beautiful old theater in Brooklyn that I used to go to when I worked in a local bakery, and I didn't know how to get into the entertainment industry. And
that's great.
So I take it as a compliment, Jim. Yeah, of course. Thank you, for sure. And thanks for watching it twice.
Well, here's another compliment. I mean, I'm not an expert on the history of stand-up comedy, but when I think of stand-up comics, I usually think of them as being male. And you obviously are a female. And I haven't heard a lot of stand-up comedy about birth and about your physical things that women go through, and about, when you're talking about breasts, I mean, you talk about what happens to your breasts when you're nursing, which is ba 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 boom, right? I mean,
majorly, big time.
Major, and they're very. I mean, I get a bunch of kids. I mean, these things are all very universal, but you don't usually get them, I don't think, in stand-up.
Yeah, I mean, there are certainly some other incredible comedians that have spoken about their pregnancy experiences, like Amy Schumer, Ali Wong did a special while pregnant. And so, but I also think, of course, it's been a male-dominated field forever, even though female comedians have always been here. And it breaks my heart kind of every, 5 years when people are like, now's the time for women in comedy. And I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for Rosalind Russell and, and Lucy and Gilda Radner and Madeline Kahn and Carol Burnett. And there's so many. But I think that what is exciting for me is the feeling that, yeah, people are talking about their bodies, and that's a wonderful advancement and an opening in the art form. But I'm also not like trying to do anything, if you know what I mean. I'm not trying to be subversive or make a splash, but I am trying to not stop myself and to make sure that in my wildness or in the liberation of my own voice, that I'm still as entertaining as I can be to the largest amount of people possible, because I'm a performer, you know?
So we're talking to Jenny Slate, who literally not only lives half-time, and she's from Massachusetts, lives half-time in L.A. and half-time in Massachusetts at an undisclosed location. You know, we haven't spoken to you since you were in 2 Oscar-nominated films. You won for whatever the hell, Everywhere, Everybody, whatever it was called.
Yeah, Best Picture.
And one of the greatest films I've ever seen, Marcel did not. And what I wanted to ask is, since that night, and I can't tell you how much the 2 of us were rooting for you, by the way, but it is what it is. When you lose like you did then, and you have to pretend like you're thrilled for the person who won, what's it like? How do you do that thing where you applaud, you smile, like, how great that I lost? How do you do that? How do you do that?
You know, I mean, at that point, like, I am actually a person from Milton, Massachusetts. There's not a part of me, although I have big dreams, and that is magical, and that having big dreams feels like living with magic. There's also a part of me that's like, I actually am the girl from Canton Ave, and now I'm here at the Oscars, and I'm nominated, and it is enough. Like, eventually you do reach capacity, so I felt really glad. But the other thing is, like, I'm not unhappy for Guillermo del Toro. Like, if anything, I want him to put me in one of his movies. So it's kind of a long game there. It's like, first of all, yeah, like, nobody in our category didn't deserve to, or they all deserve to be there. So it's also like a nerve-wracking experience, and I did tell this story on Jimmy Kimmel earlier this week. But my dress had split open, and so it was this feeling of like, well, here you go, girl, you made it to the Oscars, and like your karmic retribution is that your dress is open and your butt's out. So in a way, I was relieved that we did not have to stand up, because I was just like, this is going to be an embarrassment on the scale that even I, a person who is almost consistently, constantly, always embarrassed, have never felt. And I thought I might just burst into flames. Like I'm sad that we lost, but also it's fine. Yeah.
Wait a second, but you had to go on the stage when the other thing won.
I did.
How'd you maneuver that with the butt out? What'd you do?
I mean, I have completely dissociated and blacked out that the moment where I waddled up on stage, and I genuinely don't know. I honestly don't know. I just remember being like, do it, we're doing it, like, let's just go, and holding my dress shut and just praying to just stand still and get in the back of everyone. You know, I only had sort of a cameo in the film, so no reason for me to be up at the podium, but just standing in the back, holding my dress closed, and really trying to remind myself, like, this is humbling. Remember this, okay? Remember this.
This is Jenny Slate, by the way, seasoned professional. Her spectacular new stand-up is on Amazon Prime tonight.
Well, you said because the dress was so tight, I think you said you had to be sewn in or something like that.
I did.
That you weren't going to be able to go to the bathroom during the Oscars. But I did wonder if you did get a chance, maybe later on when your butt was out, because what it must be like to go into the bathroom in the women's room at the Oscars.
Oh, that's a good one.
And comb your hair, put your lipstick next to all these superstars. I mean,
I know.
Being around these people that you see, that's wild.
It's incredible. I in fact, am very obedient, believe it or not. And I did not go to the bathroom because I was afraid. So I actually never went. But it is, like it's truly astounding to see, like, Rihanna, who performed at the Oscars, to see her up close. It's very close to having, it is a spiritual experience, at least for me. I'm a gigantic fan. It's a thrill. I'm an actor also because I'm a fan of the entertainment industry.
Do people, though they're there, you may not know somebody well, but you recognize, you kind of say, hey, how you doing, and good luck? Or do people exchange little pleasantries, or is it just, I mean, what goes on when you're on your way to your seat?
I think people do exchange pleasantries, and I take the opportunity to say hello and like smile at basically everyone that I admire and love. And I think there are some people that I'm like, I really hope that one day I can meet this person. But generally, I think it's kind of scary to meet people you admire, just in case, you know, like what if they don't like you? But if I ever got a chance to meet Tom Hanks, for example, in person, it would be hard not to hug him.
Absolutely.
By the way, you two are talking like Jenny Slate is some big player.
Well, she's huge.
She's
huge, but she's the Oscars.
No, you are huge.
The Oscars is kind of the hugest of the huge. And
she's
the hugest of the huge.
Yeah.
It's the hugest of the huge.
Okay,
yeah.
and you're the hugest of the huge. So wait a second. So in addition, I don't understand why you do so much, and we don't have time this time to talk about it all, so I won't. You're in a film. It ends with us. In addition to the stand-up tonight, that's coming out. You have a second book of essays that is imminently coming out too. I mean,
next fall. Mm-hmm.
So where's the work-life balance with you and your great husband, Ben Shattuck, who's been on the show with us?
And your
Say
kid,
hi to Ben.
the little kid.
Oh, the kid. Where's the work-life balance before you go, Jenny?
I think it's very good because, you know, a book is a lovely thing to do. I usually write in my bed. Like my mother-in-law, Dee Dee, comes to our house every morning at 6:30 and hangs out with our daughter. And I write. And then, you know, by 2 p.m. I'm kind of done. This film, you know, we made it last year, and it seems like a lot, but it's just odd timing. Like it comes out in a burst. But, you know, this special was filmed last April and then held because of the strike. So I'm happy that it seems like there's a lot that I'm doing and that my work is represented. But in fact, I think we have an incredibly rich daily life, which I really need as a person. I really need that. I'm not actually a workaholic in any way.
Great.
I like to chill out.
Well, the stand-up is fabulous. People should watch it, and we're thrilled to talk to you.
We
Say
are.
hi, and it's great to see you, Jenny.
Me too.
And
Thanks.
all of
Thank you
us
so much.
close to Milton are thrilled that a girl from Milton made it to the hugest of the huge, and she's a big star now.
She's
and
huge.
I think
She
it was,
is.
she's huge, and thank you very much for all your great work.
Well, I love you guys.
Thank
you.
you.
You know, I'm like your biggest fan. You know, I listen every day, and it's genuinely such an honor.
Oh my goodness!
So
oh my goodness!
You know it. When I saw you in person, I brought my Polaroid camera, I believe, and took a picture with you. It's on our trip.
That's right.
I love you guys. So thank you for having me.
Do you know, Jenny, before you go, the first time you were on with your husband, do you know my pants ripped and my butt was out? Did I ever? I never told. I'll tell you next time.
I didn't know.
Jenny, it's great to see you. Be well.
Yeah, thank
Good
you
luck.
so much. Congratulations.
Great Jenny Slate.